Today on an all-new Dr. Phil, the press called her the motive to a murder.
His wife was found dead at the bottom of the stairs.
He was acquitted.
Were you his mistress?
No.
What had he given you?
A new car, a ring, a necklace full of diamonds.
For the first time.
After my wife died, she gave me a shoulder to cry on.
Was it her shoulder that attracted you to her?
He's speaking out.
Was she working you?
I think she was.
You were after me. Charlie wanted to marry me, and I knew I was going to be the second wife to be killed.
Did you sabotage her furnace and try to blow up her house?
Not at all.
You say she was a gold digger.
I am sure of it.
You were obsessed, and you gave me all your gold, all right?
He was a gold giver. You weren't a gold digger. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I'm trying to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Hello. Hey, guys. How are you? Well, today we are delving into a mysterious death. A husband accused, and in the middle of it all, a provocative brunette who many allege was not only his mistress, but his motive for the killing. Now, the husband, Charlie Buck, was found not guilty and is here today in an exclusive interview, he says, to clear his name. Also here is his former friend and the reported mistress, Carolyn, who has plenty to say. This should be interesting. But first, let me take you back to how the story began. It was 2002 when the news reported the body of Charlie's wife, Leslie Buck, a popular second-grade teacher, was found dead at the bottom of the stairs in her Mystic, Connecticut home. Her shocking death came just days after she had been beaten and kidnapped, but was somehow able to escape her captor. Now, suspicions mounted when the kidnapper was linked back to none other than a former employee of Leslie's husband, Charlie. And when the press discovered that Charlie had been lavishing gifts on a beautiful young bartender named Carolyn, the rumors in the small town really started to fly. He had given this brunette bombshell money, a computer, expensive jewelry, and even a flashy red sports car. Was Carolyn indeed a motive for murder?
I became friends with an accused murderer, and it completely ruined my life. I met Charlie in 2003 while I was working as a bartender. I was about 30, and he was around 50 years old. I was also a single mother, raising 2 children on my own. Charlie was very sympathetic. He was very attentive. I felt as if Charlie was an angel. After knowing Charlie for about 3 months, he bought me a computer. The next month, he bought me a new car worth approximately $20,000. Soon after Charlie bought me the car, Charlie's wife was kidnapped by his best friend, Russell. But then 2 days later, Charlie's wife was found murdered. The police suspected that Charlie had something to do with it. Charlie flat out, completely swore to God, whimpering that he did not kill his wife. I believed him. A few months later, Charlie proposed to me with a 3-carat ring. It was absolutely gorgeous. The ring was worth, I'm gonna say $30,000 or $40,000. He gave me a necklace full of diamonds. I think it was worth $100,000. Then he kept buying me other pieces of jewelry. And I'm thinking, the guy's a billionaire, millionaire, whatever. I did not feel guilty about accepting gifts because he was gonna be my husband.
Well, we're going to delve deeper into the death of Leslie Buck when Charlie joins us in just a bit. But first, Carolyn insists that she was just an innocent bystander who got caught up in the media frenzy, that it just all made a sexy headline. She says the stigma of being an alleged mistress of an accused murderer has stayed with her for all these years, and with it has come more accusations. Now she says she's being falsely accused of second-degree larceny and wants me to help clear her name of that charge. Here's more of what she says she's going through.
The reason I'm charged with larceny is because of Charlie Buck. Recently, I worked for a man. This man was much older than me, but he acted young. We grew very close. After 4 years of working for this man, he asked me to marry him while we were at Disney World. I really cared about him. I connected with him. Intimacy is not important to me. So I said yes. We've got the engagement rings. The rings cost over $20,000. He had a justice of the peace come down and we got married. While I was living in the house with my husband, his son did not accept the marriage, so he would call the police. For no reason, he would say, I don't want her here. Then my husband started siding with his son. So 6 months after getting married, I got the marriage annulled. About 3 weeks after I got divorced, a police officer came to my home and said I was under arrest for second-degree larceny. But instead of talking to me about the larceny charges, they interrogated me about the Charles Buck case, which had nothing to do with my arrest. In the morning, the detective finally told me they were blaming me for the charges that were put on my ex-husband's credit card. It was over $40,000 worth of merchandise. Diamond rings, baby clothes, baby furniture, 4 Xboxes, men's clothing, nothing that I would ever buy. They're linking it back to me because someone used my computer to buy the stolen merchandise. I had absolutely nothing to do with stealing the credit card. The reason I'm charged with larceny is because of Charlie Buck. He got away with murder, so they're gonna try to go after me. I'm tired of this. I want to clear my name.
Okay, were you his mistress?
I was not his mistress.
Okay.
I was going to marry him. I never slept with a guy ever, not once.
Were you romantically involved with him?
No. I was a bartender. He was a barfly. He wouldn't leave me alone. He was just totally infatuated with me. He would be there 6, 7 hours a day until my shift was done. That's how I got to know him.
Had he given you gifts?
Yes, he did.
Okay, so he wasn't just a barfly that hung out on your shift.
At first.
He was giving you gifts.
Right, at first
before
he was.
his wife died.
Right.
Because that's different than somebody that just hangs out at the bar. Because
That's
people
true.
that just hang out at the
Right.
bar don't give people gifts.
Right, right.
What had he given you before his wife died?
He bought me a computer and a new car. He became like a confidant.
When did he give you a house?
Okay, that was after his wife was found dead at the bottom of the stairs.
That was after.
He asked me to marry me.
He asked you to run away with him
Yes.
before his wife died?
Yes,
like
at the bar.
5 weeks before his wife died?
Right. I didn't think anything of it.
It is a big deal if somebody asks you to run away with him and he's married.
I didn't know. At first he said he was not
But
married.
you knew he was married when he asked you to run away with him. That was 5 weeks before his wife died.
No, not good with timing. I'm sorry. But
No, we've worked the timing out because
okay,
at
I'm
one
sorry.
point you told us that you didn't
Okay.
meet him till after his wife was dead, and then we worked the time out, and it turns out you'd met him before his wife was dead.
Mm-hmm.
And we made a list of the gifts that he gave you, that you told us he gave you.
Mm-hmm.
You said he gave you a 2003 Monte Carlo. This was back in '02, of course,
Mm-hmm.
so that was significant then. Put a down payment on a truck for you. Gave you $265,000 check for a house, $30,000 for interior decorating, 12 to 13 pieces of jewelry totaling $100,000, $50,000 diamond necklace.
that was included in the. That was included in the 100,000.
In the 100,000 laptop. Gave you money for bills.
He would pay for everything.
But you never had sex. You're a hell of a dinner date.
This is after he asked me to marry him. At the house, he asked me to marry him.
Did you say yes?
I said yes, and then I changed my mind because it was too much going on with all of the detectives and police asking, and I said maybe we should wait till everything slows down a little bit. So.
Yeah, there's damn detectives around and
You know.
everything, and you're the motive. They're thinking you're the motive, right?
They're thinking that.
He's involved with you, and they think, well, need to get her out of the way.
Right.
And the day they found her dead, he came to see you.
Yes.
Well, when we come back, we'll see if Charlie has a comment, because he's here, and he says he was never allowed to mourn his wife's death because everyone saw him as a murderer, and Carolyn as the mistress and the motive. Well, he's here today to speak out for the first time. We'll be right back.
Carolyn tried to paint me as a murderer because she is a liar. Carol was a complete con artist. She was manipulating me from the first day I met her.
And later, she thinks you've tried to kill her twice.
I don't need him to mock me right now because this is serious. This is my life.
Mine too.
Not anymore.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil, a mother accused of breaking her baby's ribs.
How do we know you didn't hurt that baby?
I never hurt my son.
You had no idea his ribs were broken.
None.
This is a bite mark. That's not a bite. That is a bite mark.
Ripped from his parents' arms.
I've been under house arrest.
Should they get their baby back?
They say you did lose your temper with this child.
That's what they said.
I have a pivotal question that this whole case may turn on.
That's tomorrow.
During the time that I knew Charlie, he continuously kept buying me gifts. He kept asking me, do you want to move? Can I buy your house? He gave me a $265,000 check. I bought a house with the money he gave me, and I paid cash. And he put everything new, the custom-made couches, the window awnings. I had Persian rugs, top-of-the-line kitchen appliances. It was about $300,000 worth of stuff. It was just so much money he was throwing at me. He didn't need it.
Well, business owner and volunteer firefighter Charlie Buck says he had it all. A beautiful wife of 23 years, a good job, nice cars, a big house on the water. But Charlie's world was rocked on May 2nd, 2002, when his wife Leslie was kidnapped by Charlie's friend and former employee. Leslie escaped with some injuries, but thankfully she lived to tell about it. But then, just 2 days later, Charlie found Leslie dead at the bottom of the stairs in their home. The police and the town pointed fingers. And then, 7 years after his wife's death, in January of 2009, Charlie was arrested and charged with murder.
I was married to my wife, Leslie, for 23 years. As I look at this picture of Leslie, I miss her with every breath I take. I was a prime suspect in my wife, Leslie's death. I saw Leslie laying at the bottom of the stairs. There was a little cut on her forehead and a little bit of blood on her face, but her hair was all stuck down to her nose and stuck down above her mouth. I checked her carotid pulse. I checked her brachial pulse in her arm. No pulse. I know she is dead. In court, the doctor proved that Leslie had the fainting spell. After she fainted and fell forward and hit her head, she stood back up and her heart just stopped. That's how she died. Carolyn tried to paint me as a murderer because she is a liar. Carolyn was manipulating me from the first day I met her. Carolyn told me that her daughter was sleeping on the floor and her son couldn't go outside and play, so I bought her son a PlayStation. I bought her daughter a bed, and she said she didn't have a camera to take pictures of her children, so I bought her a digital camera, and then she needed a laptop to do her job, so I bought her a laptop. When my wife was alive, Carolyn and I were just friends. And after my wife died, it was Carolyn that pushed the romantic relationship. I bought Carolyn a big diamond ring, and we got engaged. One day, we went to get her engagement ring cleaned, and we saw this nice necklace full of diamonds. And oh, she loved that necklace so much, and she talked me into buying it for her. Then she told me she needed money to start a business, so she convinced me to give her $80,000. Well, she never used the money for the business. She used the money for herself. If I didn't give this to her, she would die or she would leave. I'd never see her again. Carol was a complete con artist.
Well, Charlie says he hasn't seen Carolyn since she stole from him 2 years ago. So you've not seen her until right now.
I have not seen her. I think March will be 3 years since I have seen her.
Right. Well, how do you feel seeing her now?
Well, I'd rather not see her, okay? I mean, after all,
Then
I
why'd
have been...
you come here?
I came here at their request.
Do you still have feelings for her?
No, I don't. None whatsoever.
Did you at the time?
At the time, I think I did, yes.
Were you in love with her?
I don't know if I was really in love with her, but my head was so mixed up that I didn't know what I was at the time.
Yeah,
Was she working you?
I think she was.
Were you a mark?
I think I was.
You were after me. You wouldn't leave the bar. Every time I would work, you would be there from the time that I started to the time I left.
Well, because I felt sorry for you. You were telling me.
You didn't feel sorry for me.
Yes, I did. We'd go shopping, and she'd have 3 shopping carts full of food, steaks, roasts, and everything else. And I didn't realize at the time, but later on I found out that this boyfriend of hers was living with her, and I was paying the food bill.
Yeah.
So I was
did your wife know you were taking her shopping?
Oh, this was after my wife passed away.
Well, but before you bought her a laptop.
Oh, I did, yes.
And
no, my wife didn't know that, no.
Your wife didn't know you bought her a car?
I didn't buy her a car.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
You bought me a car.
I did not.
You didn't buy me a Monte Carlo?
No, I did not.
Okay, you're lying again.
I am not lying.
Did you pay for it?
No, I did not pay for it.
Did you kill your wife?
I did not kill my wife. I did not.
Were you involved in her death?
I had nothing to do with her death. She was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Is that why you were out flirting with her?
I wasn't flirting with her. I was just kind of worried about her.
No, you weren't worried about me. You were always with me.
After my wife died, she gave me a shoulder to cry on.
We got to know each other.
Was it her shoulder that attracted you to her?
No, it wasn't her shoulder. I just felt sorry for her, that's all.
You feel so sorry for me that you bought me a house.
Well,
yeah, you feel sorry for me. Nobody, and I don't care if you feel sorry for someone, you still don't buy them all those things. You asked me to marry you, okay? And then you wanted to be with me, and you were all over me all the time. You would be outside staring at me when I was downstairs behind the tree. You were so weird.
No.
Okay? You were, okay?
I was not.
Yes, you were.
I am not a peeping Tom, all right?
No, but to me you were.
No, I wasn't.
Okay?
No.
And you know, a tape recorder underneath my car. You had private detectives following me. It was ridiculous.
We have to take a break here for a minute. Carolyn says she believes that Charlie did try to kill her not just once but twice.
Yes.
We'll hear about that when we come back. Did you sabotage her furnace?
Not at all.
You didn't try to blow her up?
No, of course not. No.
Did you put 158 pictures of her on the yard, in the yard?
No, I don't drive around with a camera in the car.
And later...
It's weird. I don't know.
At the risk of this getting even weirder... Did you tell us your mother was a witch?
I have never, ever slept with Charlie. I've even taken lie detector tests to prove that I did not sleep with Charlie.
All the time I knew Carolyn, the only amount of intimacy I ever had was I kissed her a few times, and several years into our relationship, I got to second base. Carol was never my mistress.
In 2010, Charlie Buck went on trial charged with murdering his wife, Leslie. Prosecutors presented a titillating story of successful married man enamored with a young bartender named Carolyn, whom he showered with gifts. According to them, it included 2 cars, a $235,000 house, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of jewels. They even got engaged 3 months after Leslie's death because Carolyn felt Charlie was innocent. That is until about 2 years ago. Take a look at this.
Charlie tried to kill me twice. Charlie was an electrician. He had his own company, and I needed help with my furnace. He was able to do all the electrical wiring, everything. He did fix it the same day the basement blew up. It was a big boom, so it started going on fire. Everybody had to leave the house. Fire department came in. I could have died. My children could have died. Then 5 or 6 months later, he tried to kill me again. Charlie fixed the brakes in my car. Once he left my home, he rushed to his home, and he says, it's important that you get here right away. So I rushed over there. While I was driving, the wheels came off, the whole axles, everything, the whole front end came off. I lost control. When the fire department got there, they took their fingers and they could manually move the lug nuts, all of them, you can just take them off. So the fire department told me this is attempted murder, and Charlie rushed me and he just said, no, don't talk to them, and I didn't press charges again. I think I was a little scared of him. I realized this is like no accident. Charlie wanted to marry me, and I knew I was going to be the second wife to be killed.
Okay, Charlie, I want to be very, very clear here.
Yes.
After 6.5 years, you were charged with your wife Leslie's murder.
Correct.
You were taken to trial.
Yep.
And they came back with a unanimous not guilty verdict, correct?
Right.
Now, she says she thinks you've tried to kill her twice. Did you sabotage her furnace and try to blow up her house?
Not at all.
You said you married another man to get away from him.
Yes.
When you were married to this other guy, you said he came and put 158 pictures of you in the yard?
Mm-hmm.
In whose yard?
I found over 150 pictures of my front lawn.
Well, that was a lie, too, because I never took those pictures of her. Never did.
Did you hire a photographer?
No, I did not. I don't drive around with a camera in the car.
Well, wait a minute. I don't give a damn what was in the pictures. Did you put 158 pictures of her on the yard, in the yard?
No, I didn't. Of course not.
Did you put any?
I never put any.
So you just got up in the morning, went out for the paper, and there's 158 pictures like you're running for office.
I didn't want him to know that I knew.
You didn't want him to know you knew there were 158 pictures of you in the front yard?
Yes, because I didn't
So
know.
you just acted like you didn't notice?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
It's getting deep in here.
So you're just
Dr. Phil.
walking the dog past these pictures like were they on sticks?
No, they were just in the drawer.
You told us they were in the yard.
No, he took pictures of me, of my front yard.
Oh, that's a different story than you told us before.
I'm sorry.
He had 158 pictures of your front yard.
Yes, sir.
In a drawer.
Yes. That's weird. I don't know. I've never heard anyone do that. But.
Oh, there's a lot weird here.
It's a big lie. That's why it's weird.
At the risk of this getting even weirder, did you tell us your mother was a witch?
I don't want to talk about that.
And your dad was a wizard?
My stepfather.
Was a wizard?
Yeah, my stepfather was.
All right, coming up, Charlie says Carolyn is a master manipulator who steals from the elderly. She has a court date tomorrow, actually, involving her second-degree larceny charge. We'll talk about that and give you a chance to clear that up when we come back.
Right.
Okay.
This is a man that you married that was how old?
Why don't you answer his question about how old the gentleman was?
And later,
I can't believe he's saying that about me. I actually have proof.
you don't give us the paperwork, you don't give us a recording.
I will give it to you.
But no, the show is now.
I know,
This is
I
it.
don't have.
Now, you have a hearing tomorrow.
Yes, I do.
And this hearing is involving the man that you married that was how old?
He was older than me.
How old?
At the time,
Why don't you answer his question about how old the gentleman was? He didn't ask you for a narrative of a stolen thing.
but
He asked you
I'm talking to
age.
him. I'm not talking to you right now.
Well, I'm sitting
okay,
here
can
too,
you just
so
be
I'm going to
quiet?
run my mouth if I have
I'm
to.
sure you will.
Yeah.
So.
How old was he?
So this is what happened. So at that time, it was chaotic. I didn't want to come home. I think I snapped, and he took me to Disney World. We were going to go and live in Germany, and he was going to take me. I don't need him to mock me right now because this is serious. This is my life.
Mine too.
Not anymore.
So how old was he?
It was 70.
I'm sorry?
It was 70.
He was 70? I think he was 80, wasn't he?
Not yet, no.
79?
He was older. I just wanted to get out of my house, and
he's 80, isn't he?
Now he must be. I don't know.
She married him but doesn't know how old he is.
So he was...
I married him not because of his age.
Here are the items Karen allegedly stole according to the affidavit. A diamond ring, digital content subscriptions, a gift card, a digital camera, baby clothes, a laptop, Sony PlayStation,
whatever, and
a computer printer. That's what the affidavit says.
Yes.
It's not whatever. That's what the affidavit
whatever.
says.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't want a whatever. That's what the affidavit says. You have to answer tomorrow.
I'm very upset. I'm sorry.
Well, you want this is your chance to clear this up.
I know.
Did you steal this stuff?
I did not, and they found out it wasn't me because everything was sent to New York City.
Carolyn claims she knows who stole that card.
The detectives were blaming me for the charges that were put on my ex-husband's credit card. When the police read off the charges, he mentioned who received the stolen merchandise. The person that stole my ex-husband's credit card came to me and apologized and said, I'm sorry for stealing the money. And I'm thinking, since the money was returned, everything's okay. So I accepted his apology and life went on.
You told us that the person that actually did it confessed to you.
He apologized to me.
Okay, and you said we could contact them,
yes,
and that they would tell us,
yes,
the truth.
Yes.
And so we did. We contacted that person, and here are their comments. They said, I never confessed to Carolyn that I took the card. She's a thief and has been stealing from people.
What?
Let me ask you, how do you think I got that card?
From my pocketbook.
She gave it to me. She told me to buy things. She still has that diamond ring. I moved away from her because she's crazy. And honestly,
really?
I don't want to have anything to do with her.
All right, he's a petty thief, and he still steals credit cards. I can't believe he's saying that about me.
That's what he said to us. And then we talked to the man that you married.
Yeah.
He said, I gave her a credit card to buy groceries, but she went on a shopping spree. I noticed it and brought it to her attention. She got mad at me. She has a $36,000 diamond of mine. She took a ring of mine to the jeweler, and the jeweler replaced it with a fake diamond.
Oh, that's nice.
She gave me my ring back with a fake diamond. Carolyn is a manipulator. She manipulated me.
No, he has his diamond and he has his ring. I actually have proof with paperwork, that he has everything back. He's got his ring.
Well, we ask you time and again for that paperwork. We ask you, you said you had a recording of the confession from the guy that just told us, and we asked you the recording. You didn't give us the recording.
I couldn't find it, but I will look for it.
We asked you for paperwork 100 times, and you gave us no paperwork. Every time you say, I have proof, I have a recording, I have paperwork, we say, well, then give it to us, because we want to help you clear your name. And then you don't give us the paperwork, you don't give us a recording.
I will give it to you.
But the show is now. This is it.
I don't have. It was like so fast.
This is now.
But I can't find it.
You can't find it. You're under indictment, and you have exculpatory evidence, and you lost it?
It was 2 years ago. I have to find it.
Okay, go to jail, find the tape. I'd find the tape.
Absolutely.
Next, Charlie claims Carolyn has stolen thousands of dollars from him. He'll tell us about that after the break.
I don't even know what he's talking about, and I didn't have anything of his. He's trying to make himself look good because he's been, every time anybody goes by him, they say, murderer!
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil, a mom accused of breaking her baby's ribs.
They say you did lose your temper with this child.
This is a bite mark.
I never hurt my son.
How do we know you didn't hurt that baby?
That's tomorrow.
Carol acts like your friend, and meanwhile, she's stealing everything from you. After I got arrested in 2009, I was able to bond out, and when I got home, I found my computer was gone, all my good dishes, my pots and pans, my air conditioner, my bedroom was gone, my hair clippers, my steam mop, the sterling silverware set for 12 that was my aunt's was gone. Carolyn cleaned my house out. She stole everything.
You also had a key to my house, so if I stole your stuff, you could have came in and saw that I had it.
I was in jail.
Yeah.
I was in jail. She took all my
But you came out of jail and you could have seen it.
She took all my good dishes. She took all my pots and pans, and she had a field day. Well, finally, when I got out of jail, I wrote her a letter, and she got back to me, and I kind of got back with her just so I could get my stuff back.
That's not the reason you got back with me. Just so you could get your stuff back. I got the silver back, and I got my dishes back, and I got my air conditioner back, and, you know, I got my desktop computer back finally.
Why did you go take all this stuff?
I didn't take his stuff.
Did he get his stuff back?
Yes. I don't even know what he's talking about, and I didn't have anything of his.
Yes.
So he's trying to make himself look good because he's been, every time anybody goes by him, they say murderer in his own town. They call it, he has such a negative, so he's trying to make himself look good at my expense.
Well,
I don't have to make myself look good.
Well, let's make you look good.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to, I'm just
Yes, you are.
The truth.
You should make yourself look good. This is your chance. This is your opportunity. Clear your name right now.
I am trying, it's been 12 years. I am trying to clear my name.
Well, let's clear this up. She was not your mistress,
No,
correct?
she was not.
So you say you were not his mistress, you say she was not your
Correct.
mistress. So you two agree on that?
Yeah.
Yes.
So if they're painting you as his mistress, that's not the case because you two never had sex.
Correct.
All right, so we've cleared that up, right? So they can't say that anymore because the two of you agree you were not his mistress.
Right.
You say she was a gold digger.
I 100% sure of it.
You were obsessed and you gave me all your gold, all right?
He was a gold giver, you weren't a gold digger.
Right.
No, I was not a gold digger.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right? He was just after you, giving you stuff, trying to buy you.
No, because they're saying that he killed his wife because he was so obsessed with me. Obviously, he was obsessed. He wouldn't leave me. He would just constantly be with me, always trying to be with me in the bar when I first met him.
And you accepted all these gifts?
Yes.
Okay, we got to take a break. When we come back, Charlie claims he's still paying off one of Carolyn's debts. He'll tell us about that when we come back.
Do you need Dr. Phil's help? Text Phil to 88500 and share your story for a chance to appear on the show. Standard message and data rates may apply.
We have a lot of fun here in the studio audience.
If you're going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click Be in the Audience, or you can call 323-461-PHIL. That's 323-461-7445. Understand, if somebody gives you a diamond ring, that's a gift, and you don't have to give that back, and you don't want to say you did give it back if you didn't, because
I did give
that's
it back.
a lie in a public forum, and you don't want to say that if it's not true and then go into court. That's a gift. You don't have to give that back if you don't want to.
Back.
Okay.
I did give
so
it back.
I don't want you to say something in a public forum.
I'm not lying about anything. I gave it back.
Okay. Is the ring you gave him back, did it have a stone switched out in it, and then you gave him the other stone?
In court, I was under the impression.
Listen, just answer my question. When you gave him back the ring, had you already switched the stone?
Well, and
then you gave him back the stone separately?
Right, yes.
Okay, so when you gave him back the ring, you had switched the stone.
I gave it to him right in court.
When you gave him the ring, you had switched the stone. And then you gave him the real stone back separately.
Because they told me that that was one of the conditions.
Just answer the question. So you did switch the stone?
At first, yeah. Because I thought it was going to be my stone.
Well, it was your stone. You can do what you want to. A gift's a gift.
I still gave it back to him.
A gift's a gift.
Right.
But then you gave him back the other one just to be on the safe side.
Right.
Okay. You're still paying off a debt of hers?
Debt was for some credit card things that were run up while I was in jail.
What credit card? I didn't have access to any of your credit cards. What are you talking about?
I didn't say that you did it. I just said that when I was in jail, somehow debts were run up on my credit cards. That I couldn't run them up because I was locked up.
Really? Maybe it was your cleaning lady.
She didn't have the cards.
Okay. What you want everybody to understand is, let me listen very carefully to what I'm saying. No, don't look down and roll your eyes.
No, I'm not rolling my
Listen
eyes.
very carefully to what I'm saying. You did not have the benefit of any of the transactions for which you are accused of causing to happen. This credit card that you supposedly misused from your now ex-husband.
Right.
You did not have the benefit of any of those transactions.
I didn't. No, I did not.
That's called conversion. You didn't get the benefit of any of those transactions. So nothing that was done was converted to value for you.
No, it was. I didn't even see it.
You were completely cleared. Everybody in your community needs to understand that.
Right, yes. Yep.
You are a very gullible man.
I am. Yep. I got too big a heart.
If you're saying she's working you, let me tell you, this world is not full of victims, it's full of volunteers.
Right, exactly.
And you need to...
Right. Yes, doctor.
You need to remember me telling you that as well.
Amen, doctor.
All right,
Yes.
thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Phil.
Coming up, a grown woman who says her parents never let her make a decision for herself, and now she needs a big-time wake-up call. Want to get something off your chest? Sign up for the drphil.com community and weigh in on your favorite episodes and share your personal stories with other community members. Plus, get started on your own blog to share your thoughts on the topics that interest you most. I'll be reading those message boards. Log on to drphil.com today. You know, life doesn't always turn out the way you envision it. Sometimes you wind up working really hard for what you don't want instead of what you do want. Why? Well, because you're either doing what others expect of you or you don't even know what you really want. My next guest uprooted her family and moved clear across the country to chase what turned out to be the wrong thing. Take a look.
I always felt like I was existing and never really living. I figured, if not now, when? What was I waiting for? When I was younger, I wasn't a risk taker. I was a small town girl, and I wanted to be a flight attendant, work on a cruise ship, and to see the world. But my parents discouraged me from doing it. For years, I was a secretary, and I was very good at it, but I just hated it. I've lived a life where everyone else has told me what to do. I definitely feel like something's been missing in my life for all these years. I've been divorced about 8 years now. Moving forward was difficult. I didn't know what was next for me. I realized I have to finally establish life for me. So I decided to pack up and move to California. When I moved out here, I went right back into what I knew. I worked in an office. Right now, I'm trying to pursue getting my real estate license. Then I thought maybe if those don't work, then I'll try and do substitute teaching. I constantly worry is, did I make the right choice? I still feel unfulfilled. Even though I changed locations, I don't feel that I've made a change yet in what I'm doing. I'm in the same rut.
Okay, it's good to meet you. How do you know what you want? How do you know if you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing?
Sometimes I don't know.
Okay, because you decided to be a flight attendant, right?
Yes.
And then you discovered you were claustrophobic.
Yes, within the plane, I didn't realize it was just so enclosing. There was no fresh air. I just decided it was a job that was not right for me.
And now you're working as a waitress, right?
I'm doing that part-time as a waitress, yes.
All right, and are you worried about role modeling for your son?
Yes, that's a huge factor in my life. I want him to see that I'm keep trying to do what I want to do and pursue different avenues to figure out what I like, so he knows it's okay to try.
Okay. Now, you've got an unusual living arrangement.
I currently live with my son and my ex-husband. We packed up, moved across the country, and it is preventing me from dating, but that's okay.
Ex and that's okay don't fit in my ear right, because that's not okay. Why is it not okay? You said it's preventing me from pursuing another relationship.
Yes.
And the reason I've got a problem with you living with your ex is because you're in a comfort zone.
Totally.
I gave you a test.
Yes.
Before you came out here. Mm-hmm. It's called the turtle test, so I could analyze some of your thinking. And I want to point out just a couple of the answers that you gave me. Like number 3, when someone asks me a question, I often sound more sure of the answer than I actually am. Okay, you answered that, do you remember?
Correct, I do.
You gave it a 4, which was, yeah, most of the time. And then another was, I consider my education complete. And you answered that with a 4, which is, yeah, pretty much. So, I'm not as sure as I sound, but I consider my education complete. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm done learning.
But I'm done learning, yeah.
And by the way, out of this, you scored a 24, which puts you right in the middle of a category that says you need to pay a lot more attention to the realities of your life. Now, and by the way, for those of you at home, I have partnered with AARP and Life Reimagined, which is one of their really interesting divisions. And if you go to the website, which you'll see me all over, I have free tests and exercises there that you can use to help you get your life on track. And the turtle test is one of them. My belief is, I don't care how old you are or not, it is never too late to recreate a new life. Because what I'm going to do is walk you through this, and we're going to deal with things like the 10 defining moments in your life, the 7 critical choices that you've made in your life, the 5 pivotal people in your life, and then we're going to talk about how to write a script that lets you star in your own life. Because if you don't, who is?
Nobody.
I call this Become the Best Version of Yourself. It's a personal journey guided by Dr. Phil. So you and I are going to do this together.
Okay, wonderful.
And if you want to do this at home, just go to lifereimagine.org. You give me the time, and I will give you the tools. It's what I do. Deal?
Deal.
All right. Thanks for being here. I want to thank all my guests for watching today. We will see you next time. So long. Thanks, guys. See y'all.
Memories can kill ya, but I didn't hear ya. I thought that I could fly, but woke up on the asphalt. I swear there was still a storm. I've always been naive, call it.
You know we gon' get it. Ooh, you know we gon'